What's happening? This is Mike Williams, and this is Breakthrough Kings. I help men break through their personal barriers, find passion, discover purpose, all while leveraging the internet to create financial independence. We're here Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Real topics from a man's perspective. We got a pretty interesting topic tonight. All weekend, right? All weekend, social media has been going crazy, bananas. Over this particular song, this new song called WAP by Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion. WAP standing for wet, A, $ P-U, $ Y. Lot of controversy. I think the last time we saw a video get this much love and hate was probably Anaconda with Nicki Minaj from years ago. And to be honest, the WAP video looked just like the same Nicki Minaj videos over the course of the last 5 years. But we're going to talk a little bit tonight about influence, why I'm not concerned with my daughter being influenced. We're going to talk about the media a little bit. We're going to talk about different ways that you can truly focus on not worrying about celebrities influencing your children. Make sure you like, follow, comment, and subscribe to our different media channels. You can go to flow.page/Breakthrough Kings, and that'll take you to all our different social media platforms. Definitely subscribe to our YouTube. We need to get our YouTube subscribers up to 100 so we can utilize some of their features. So go ahead to the link at some point through the night to definitely hook us up. Give us a subscribe to that YouTube channel so we can keep growing that thing. Go. I got 3, never. Rashad said 3. You got 3 kids, never. I love it. And that's real talk. We got a lot of people on tonight. I appreciate you guys chiming in from all over the world, helping us build out this platform, Breakthrough Kings. This is my baby, and I'm all about helping that, helping the man step into his power, and definitely growing and expanding, and chasing his dreams and doing what he needs to do. Okay, cool. Let's get into it a little bit here because we should be ready to rock and roll. Let's bring up my screen. I like to do my little fancy screens and whatnot, right? So this is the album cover, right? Straight like that, right? It's straight at your face, boom, just like that. So we've been getting a lot of different opinions on this topic. I mean, I've seen women say it is inappropriate but fun. I've seen women totally downgrade it. I can't really speak for the women's perspective. I'm gonna speak for the man's perspective, and most importantly, how this could or could not affect our daughters. Okay, so that's pretty much the topic throughout the night. I've seen men shame like crazy and say it's totally inappropriate, and calling them different words outside of their name, and I'm pretty sure you know what those words are. And I've seen men, agree and say, hey, it's just entertainment. Right. I've seen men say, hey, it'll never affect, what I got going on in my household. And that's kind of where I'm at. I look at the video like it is what it is. It's just another video. We've seen content like this for years now. You know what I mean? I've heard my mom, singing, my neck, my back. Right. That Kaya song. I've heard my grandmother sing an old school Marvin C song called Candy Liquor. So I've heard these different things. Like every so often, there's going to be a content out there that's going to be promiscuous, right? It's going to be sexual. The music industry thrives on sexuality, and I'm gonna get a little bit into that when we get into myth number 3, I believe. So let's get into this first thing here. This first thing I found, right? Do these images and or lyrics affect our daughters, right? Some people say yes, some people say no. I personally say no, okay? I'm gonna ruffle some feathers tonight, and I'm gonna say no, all right? So look at this. And I'm gonna bring up a comment that I think my friend Jay said perfectly that matches what this says here on the screen. It says, therefore, teenagers need guidance on how to interpret celebrities' influence. Adults can engage with kids around media. In addition, they therefore support how children process what they're seeing and hearing. Moreover, parents and teachers can use celebrity stories as entry points into important discussions about health and personal choices. And I think that's the key. Are we teaching our kids about personal choices? My friend Jay said yesterday, I think this was, he said it perfectly. I'm gonna break down what he said on the screen, and then I'm gonna get into myth number 1, right? He said, yes, they absolutely do. Just like Bad Boy Records influenced me, but it's up to the parents to strike the balance between foolishness and reality. I love the way he put that, between foolishness and reality. And that's real talk, right? You know, how can we start this conversation saying that, you know, these women and their agendas for our children? It's like, well, where do you come in? Like, at what point do you come in, and where is your value and importance as a parent to be able to, number one, guard your toddlers, right? I got a 5-year-old, I got a 7-year-old, my daughter's 5, right? And I also got a 16-year-old. Now, my 5 and 7-year-old, obviously, we're going to guard them from this type of content because they don't need this type of content. My 16-year-old, I can't technically guard him from the content. He'll be able to find content like this if he really wants it, right? Our teenagers will be able to find that content. But by the time you have a teenager, they should already have a level of influence of what's appropriate, what's not, right? Who's their influences, who they look up to, who they can talk to, and so forth and so on, right? By the time they're teenagers. So myth number 1 is celebrities have more influence over our daughters than we do. Absolutely not. And if you agree with me, chime in. And if you don't, please share your perspectives. This is not about wrong or right answers, right? This is from my perspective, right? Because everybody looks at things differently because they got different backgrounds. We got different experiences, okay? Different educational levels. It's all different. And this is a platform for conversation. I'm cool with conversation. I'm cool with people disagreeing, all right? I want to hear your perspective, right? As long as we can be respectful, that's all I ask, right? Cool. So we got a couple of conversation coming in here. Rashad says, take care of your kids and they won't stray. If they do, you did your best. And that's real talk, right? That's real talk. All I can do is focus 100% on doing the best things right now, especially when it comes to our daughters, right? There's this thing that I like to look at, right, about raising boys and girls, okay? There's a chart I usually have, and the chart shows that a man can raise a boy, okay, but he loves his daughter, right? A woman can raise her daughter and she loves her son, right? There's just things that I don't know about being a female. I haven't experienced it, so I can't really teach it. You know, I can try my best, and most of my best comes from it comes from love, right? It comes from love, support, as much guidance as humanly possible. But that whole raising position, that's where a dynamic woman comes into play. And another thing, before I move on to myth number 2, we have to start putting celebrities on these pedestals of role models, right? They can be, they do have an important role in society at some point, but when it comes to your household, right, we got to make sure that we're on that pedestal as far as role models are concerned. I'm gonna tell you a quick story, and it might be a little different today because, you know, I had to discipline my son a couple of times since the last time I saw this. But one day I had to go through his phone and I saw a number, and the number said the GOAT. And I'm like, who the hell is the GOAT, right, in his phone? And then I looked at the number, it was me, right? And we know what the GOAT stands for, right? Now I looked at that like, oh, that's dope. You know what I mean? That my son would label my number under that contact. You know what I mean? Meaning that I have some level of influence in his life. Like I said, it could be different now because I had to discipline him a couple of times. But the fact that that was there, that's important. And that's definitely what we have to look at when it comes to our kids. We are their influence. They are going to do things based on our actions, right? How we teach them, right? Those close social, you know, social influences, what they have, you know what I mean? The family members right there, that little bubble, that's going to influence you. You know what I mean? You didn't try your first puff of marijuana or your first drink because of a rap video per se. You did it maybe because your cousin did it or your older brother did it, right? Or your uncle or somebody gave you that drink in your family circle, if that makes sense. And chime in if that makes sense. Let me see. No guidance in my Drake voice. I didn't play music that curse. Let me see. Jessica says, I didn't play music that curse in front of my daughter. And that's real talk, right? That's important. That's super valuable. Like my 5 and 7-year-old, if I ask them who Cardi B is, they don't know who Cardi B is, right? And I wanted to be that way. Let's see. Rashad says, I did, however, never cursed in front of her. Never cursed in front of her. Cursing has never been a problem. It's the parent not being there, right? I think definitely being available is super important, right? Being present is super important. Is oftentimes, I'm not always super focused because I'm trying to do many things at once, but I try to check myself and try to be available and try to focus in as much as I can. But it happens. I believe that definitely you're right, man. Being there available is important. You see, right in my 90-year-old, and she still don't know. That's what's up. All right, let me go to myth number 2. Right, myth number 2: the internet makes it much easier for our daughters to get access to promiscuous content. Now, right, this could go both ways, right? We know how easy it is to get content on the internet, but somebody, I read this in somebody's comments yesterday, and my response was exposure is exposure. Right? Whether, he tried to say that back in the day, we had the late night, joint on BET, right? We didn't have, instant access to, the inappropriate content that was out there when we came up. But the bottom line is exposure, right? So, when it comes to internet content, you can control that content to a certain extent, especially, with your younger kids. There's all sorts of ways to block stuff on YouTube, block stuff on your internet now. If you got Verizon, you can literally shut the internet down. If your kid has an iPhone, like I literally can go into my kid's phone from my Apple account and shut down all the social media accounts, shut down everything, click of a button, done. I can tell it, hey, at this time, shut the whole phone down, and he don't access anything. So there are ways to, limit the type of content that your kids see, but you got to be willing to do the work to do it. Some people are too tired to even sit down and figure that stuff out. Because I ain't gonna front, it took me a while to figure it out, but I did. I figured it out, right? So yeah, it's easy. It's very accessible. The internet is all over the place. But as a parent, you got to do what you need to do, right? So yeah, and from my perspective, another myth. Rashad says, my 7-year-old told me that ST had around 3. Asked her the last time she said that. Real talk. Sometimes discipline got to step in. Got to step in with the discipline piece. Let's check it out. Myth number 3: the media pushes a sexual agenda. This is another topic, and a lot of people talk about it. They start analyzing the videos, and they start getting into this deep devil stuff. And I can't agree with it or deny it because I really don't know. But from a business perspective, if I look at it from a business perspective, the media and the music industry pushes what sells. Right. And this goes back years and years and years. We, the people, are the ones who stream. We're the people, the ones who buy this different content. Right. We give them that data that says they are more interested in this content than the conscious content. Right. And I had a DJ. I was going back and forth with a DJ, and I didn't know he was a DJ. He made the content that the music, the video and the song was just not good. And then we kept going into contents. We drilled down a little bit longer, and I found out he was a DJ. And because somebody asked him about music, saying that, they gave him showed him that there was all these other black female conscious rappers, right? Totally different types of rappers than Cardi B, right? And so he was like, I'm a DJ, and the crowd don't want to hear that. Right? He said, I'm a DJ and the crowd don't want to hear that. And that's a valid point, right? So why would the radio not play it? Why would VH1 and VH1, I don't even know if they play videos anymore, but why wouldn't YouTube play these different things? They're going to play it because it do what? It streams, it sells, right? That's why they push sexual content. Not that they got an agenda per se, but they know what the hell sells, right? They spend millions of dollars every month to figure out what's going to sell. Like this whole conversation is selling that song like crazy, streaming it like crazy. If you didn't hear about it up until this conversation, you probably going to go stream it, right? The whole weekend was based on putting money in their pockets, whether you liked it or not, right? Whether you liked it or not, because they know what sells. Can't hide anything from your kids until they stop selling it. Got to teach them. Yeah, it's going to keep coming, you know, until the music industry just decides to stop selling this type of content. Definitely got to guard what your kids are watching, right? And that's going to be on you. That's 100% on you as a parent, right? I would never blame a celebrity for my kids' actions, right? That's all on me, right? And I'm not going to be ignorant. I'm not going to say that, you know, celebrities don't influence us in some way, shape, or form, because I love hip hop, right? I love Jay-Z, right? But there hasn't been one day I've ever said, I'm going to sell crack today, right? Never. Influence, I look at it as, yo, I'm going to go build my own business. I'm going to go out there and get my own bread and buy property and whatever the case may be. Even back then when he was doing Reasonable Doubt, yeah, I'm gonna go out here and get mine. You know, that was the type of influence. And in most cases, I believe that, you know, a celebrity influence is inspirational in a sense, because they're telling their stories, right? They're telling their stories, and you get wild, you get awed. Oh, wow, yo, that, you know, from nothing to something, I can do that, right? I think there's more positive influence than there is negative, and negative does exist. It does exist, but I'm all about the data as well. I want people to show me the data, right, that says that XYZ amount of girls decided to be strippers because they followed Cardi B. Like, where's that data? Does that data exist? You know what I mean? I told you I was going to ruffle some feathers tonight, because I think about things a little bit differently, and I think about them from a business perspective. Yes, I agree. We definitely got to guard our kids and what they get accustomed to. They can't get accustomed to certain things too early, right? But the fact is, they will get access to these things eventually, and we got to play our part to make sure that when they do come in contact with that content, they know how to handle it. Right? They know how to handle it. I see comments coming in. Let me see. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Cool. Let me get to myth number 4. Myth number 4. Tearing down and shaming our queens are going to encourage them to change, right? So people actually think that shaming and tearing down these ladies are going to encourage them to act in a way that you want them to act, right? Every man has a different we have a different perspective on who we want to be with, who we want to marry, who's marriage material, right? I got, you know, because me, Cardi B wouldn't be my type, right? Wouldn't be my type, but it is somebody's type. I mean, she is married and she does have a kid, right? I have a friend who's a DJ. He absolutely loves strippers. He treats them with royalty. Right? That's his taste. That's his style. Right? And you got to respect that. You know, everybody's different. But, you know, and everybody, that's a really, that you know, that industry is like, it's scary. Like, no man wants their daughter to grow up and, you know, be a stripper. So the only way, right, you can potentially stop that from happening is you got to cultivate them early, right? Because there's still that probability that they can go out there and get exposed to, you know, some other social circle. But if that relationship is there from the start, and it's strong from the start, trust me, your daughter's going to know where her foundation lies, right? She's going to know who's important. She's going to see the nonsense from a mile away, right? She's going to be sharp. Let me see here. Somebody from Periscope says it's industrial manufactured garbage. Let me see. Nope, not coming at queens different. Shaming makes them not care. Exactly. From a woman's perspective, she said shaming them makes them, makes them not care. They're like, yo, we're going to go harder and do what we do. You know what I mean? Let me see here. All that pop and hip hop is total garbage. Let me see here. People teach their kids to curse, then beat them when they do. Ooh, that's a good one. Right? They do exactly what they see you doing. Let me see here. All right, cool. So honestly, the moral of the story, guys, is yes. We all got different perspectives on the music, right? Like I said, I love hip hop, but I've never thought to do anything that I listen to when it comes to hip hop, right? It's we as people like to live in these fantasy worlds. Somebody today was like, yo, why now with everything that's going on in the country, why would they drop this album? From a business perspective, best time to do it, right? Because everybody is focused in on if they're getting unemployment, if they're going back to work. They're focused on the protests that are going on. They're focused on the election that's coming up. So there's all these different things that are happening, and boom, we get this moment where we could just like fantasize and not think about the nonsense that we got to deal with on a daily basis, right? This comes in for a moment. We won't even be talking about this after today. This probably, I was hesitant to even talk about the topic tonight because it's going to die out, right? It's going to be done. It's going to be dying out, dead, and everybody's going to move on to the next thing. Eventually, last week, Black is King. They was upset because they was upset with Beyonce last week because of Black is King. They upset with Cardi B this week because of WAP. So, or WAP, however you pronounce it. You know what I mean? People, make up your mind. What do you want? Get some clarity. But most importantly, when it comes to our daughters, fellas, and you truly don't want them to, make these decisions too soon when it comes to this type of content, you just got to be there for them. You got to love them, right? You got to show them what a real relationship is with their mother, right? You got to show them that example, right? You got to show them what love is. You got to show them when you're talking to your wife, right? You got to show them what that conversation looks like without being angry, shouting, and getting crazy, and all these different things. You know what I mean? We got to be the best example of what a man is, because we're the first one that they see. And unfortunately, there's young girls that don't have the father figure in the household, and we gotta definitely pray that somebody walks into their life to be able to show them that love, right, and respect. And be that example that they always going to reference back to when it comes to dealing with men, who are outside of their household. Let me see. He said, "You're right, though. I just know how bad it is seeing a lot of friends go down." Yeah. The reality is, there people will be influenced to do negative things, but I just don't think it starts from something that they saw a celebrity do. Right? It's going to be what their experience in their household, right? Their experience in that family circle that they have. People are going to do what they want to do anyway, not regardless, right? You technically can't change that. All you can do is, like Rashad said earlier, is just do your best. Right? Do your best. So definitely need improvement on the yelling. However, already let mine know I was wrong. Yo, I think, oh man, that's a whole nother conversation. Guys, we are terrible at saying, yo, I'm wrong. Right? I can't speak from the women's perspective. I can only speak from the man's perspective. It's hard, right? That's a real growth moment when you can be like, yo, damn, right? I'm wrong. And the faster you can get to that conclusion, right? The faster you can get to that conclusion, that means you are growing, right? If an incident happened at 5 o'clock and you're able to say you're wrong by 5:30, you are growing, right? You are growing. Sometimes we clam up 3 days missing. I told my story last week. I said, yo, when I first, because of the relationship that my parents had, it was toxic. So I always thought that I was going to end up in that type of relationship. Right? Toxic relationship. So I never went below the surface with any of my relationships. Right. And then when I finally went below the surface of my relationship and a disagreement showed up, I clammed up because I wasn't sure how I would respond. So I just shut up for a day, a week, 2 weeks at a time. And that's terrible. Whole lot different now, a lot of growth, a lot of, internal stuff going on here, and you start to recognize when you're wrong. So that's a good topic. We definitely need to talk about that for sure. Let's see if any comments coming down. Let me see. My cousin has been in jail since '94, and I have yet to see him. That's deep. That's a long time, man. It's a long time. Like he's gonna come out to a whole different world. Can you imagine that adjustment? Another conversation. That's crazy. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody hanging out with me tonight. I love the conversation. We're going to be here every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This week, we got somebody coming on that's going to show us some stuff on investing into the stock market. We got another gentleman going to be coming on who specializes in teaching us how to be gentlemen. So he's going to be on this week, and we got a few other topics we're going to jab at. Always, usually the night before or really early in the morning, I'll post what the conversation will be that night. You can always hit reminder so that you can get updates on when we're going live. For all those men who are looking to definitely break through their personal barriers, find their passion, discover their purpose, all while leveraging the internet to create financial independence, you can go to the link that's on the screen, and there is a button called Access the His Method. All right, the His Method, the hismethod.com. It shows you how to go through this whole process, healing the internal voice and systems, how to create income online. So really dope community. We're growing. We just launched like a week ago. I've been a digital marketer for over 12 years. So now I'm dedicating my time, my energy, my efforts to really helping men step into their power, because I believe that a lot of our problems can be solved, right? When men start to step up and truly start becoming the kings that they are. And that's our motto, rebuilding kings one crown at a time. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.